When I came to Calgary, of course, I was the Olympic guy. Had been head of Sport Canada, the federal government sports program. I was the Olympic champion. So the University of Calgary attracted this guy, and the sports media were very interested, of course, because there'd be some sport news, and they wanted to know what some of my ideas were and plans were, and how the faculty would grow, and how we would embrace high performance sports and that sort of thing. And so there were a few newspaper articles at the time, but Frank King, who was a very visionary, articulate entrepreneur and was senior vice president of a major oil and gas company, and a pal of his, Bob Niven, who was also in the oil industry, had sort of wondered aloud. We've had 3 previous Olympic bids for Calgary which never went anywhere, and now should we try a 4th bid? And they were beginning to think about it with the Booster Club, which was a local sports group that sponsored scholarships and promoted sport in the community. And so they came to me, the Olympic guy, if you will, and said, would you join us? And would you help us think through how we build government support and go on the international stage? And at first I said, I just arrived. I'm too busy. I'm teaching physiology in the Faculty of Medicine. I'm teaching physiology and other things in my faculty. I'm trying to build a faculty. They said, yeah. You don't understand. You don't understand. This is a big, important project and whatever. So after walking around the campus a little bit and chatting away about it, I decided, we could create a whole bunch of legacy here if we're able to attract the games. So I think I might be correct in saying I was number 3 in the little planning group, and then we quickly added a bunch of people. And for 3 years, we were a bid committee. We had to build the bid, we had to build the business plan of what we were going to do, and then we had to run around the world and sell it. So Frank and I, a fellow named Bill Warren, who was very active in the community, joined the group, and 4 or 5 of us spent 3 years doing the lobby and making our presentation to the International Olympic Committee in Baden-Baden. And on that story, just very simply, Frank King and I and Mayor Ralph Klein and Dick Pound, the IOC member from Montreal, were the 4 presenters of the Calgary bid to the International Olympic Committee in Baden-Baden. After President Samanog said, and the winning city is Calgary. Well, we were just ecstatic because now we had 7 years of preparation for the 1988 games ahead of us. So it was a great moment for Calgary and for Alberta. The Alberta government was fantastic, a terrific partner. The city of Calgary was an unbelievable partner. And the entrepreneurial spirit here from the corporations and community were exceptional. So it was a great experience. I remember talking to Norm Wagner, who became the president of the university when I became the dean in 1978. And it was just at the time when Frank King approached me about the Calgary Olympic project in the summer, 2 weeks after I arrived. Let's do this thing. And so I talked to the president after that Olympic project was over in 1988, and I thanked him because I said, I never would have had this huge new complex that we have just built. We never would have had the opportunity to build the Sport Medicine Center, which I was now embarking on building. We never would have had the Olympic Games in Calgary if the university had not cooperated. And I just said, I don't know how to say it any more simply than it wouldn't have happened if you didn't support me and didn't support other people. And his reply was, Roger, you don't teach a good dog how to bark. And it was just his way of giving a compliment back and saying, I opened some doors, but you and others were people that did all the work over 10 years to build new dormitories, upgrade McMahon Stadium, build the kinesiology complex, the Olympic Oval, all the things that we did as legacies from the Games.